I'm Dale Smith for Loony Politics, and this last week the federal government went and had a big song and dance about what they're going to be doing to combat extortion, which has become a problem among certain South Asian communities in places like Surrey and Brampton. And you had both Francois Philippe Champagne and Mark Carney in different parts of the country saying that they're going to tackle this problem. But the problem is that the things that they're proposing to do aren't really going to do much to solve the problem. For example, Francois Philippe Champagne says they're going to follow the money and then essentially said FinTrack is going to do its job. They're not getting any more money or any more powers or any more resources. They're just going to do their job. Okay. We also have to remember that the government has also decided that they're not going to break up the RCMP in order to stand up a proper federal policing agency, which would have the competency to do this kind of work, particularly when it comes to financial crimes and organized crime, because the RCMP is not able to do its job properly with those particular problems. And they've decided they're not going to go ahead and do that. So that doesn't exactly sound like they're doing much more on the policing side for this kind of an issue. They've also said they're going to, they're passing Bill C-14, which is going to toughen bail laws, but that's not actually going to do anything because the problem is with bail is not the laws. The laws are fine. The problem is that provinces are under-resourcing their court systems, which means you have delays, which means you have people who are on the street for longer when they shouldn't be. You have issues with not enough resources for police supervision of people on bail. All these kinds of problems, which Bill C-14 is not going to solve. Provincial funding will solve, but the federal government isn't leading on the provinces to do that either. On a related note, the government is also saying that people who are charged with these extortion crimes are then going and claiming asylum so that they don't get deported. But the problem with that story is that people who are charged with serious crimes can't claim asylum. Instead, they're trying to use this to push the bill that they're that proposes to give the immigration minister more powers, arbitrary powers, to cancel any asylum claims she likes, which creates more problems down the road, especially if they get used arbitrarily. And so again, this is not really a solution to the extortion problem at all, but they're using extortion as a way of trying to give the government these powers, which is dubious under the circumstances. The last thing that they're doing is insisting that they need lawful access powers, and lawful access is unconstitutional. The Supreme Court of Canada has twice ruled that. What that generally means is that it's police looking for information from people like internet or telecom providers without a warrant. Because they say warrants take too long, and that's not actually true at all. If police have their evidence in order, warrants take no time at all from a judge. But they have insisted that they need these lawful access powers in order to target these extortionists because they're using private messaging services. But in order to let police access those encrypted private communications or message systems, that means the law would require them to do things like build in backdoors, which not only create cyber vulnerabilities, but it's ripe for police abuse to go on things like fishing expeditions, or to try and invade privacy. And we have a long history in this country of police abusing the powers that are given to them when it comes to invading privacy or violating rights, because they think that, they can justify it under the national security concerns or so on. So with all of this in mind, I have to wonder, is the government really actually doing something to tackle this extortion problem, or are they using extortion as a way to come up with new ways that they can impinge and violate Canadians' rights? For Loony Politics, I'm Dale Smith.